Tonight, violence explodes in one of Europe's largest cities. There are many casualties as police storm a protest camp. Charlie D'Agata is on the breaking news. Brutal weather leaves destruction across many states. Vanina Nair on the challenges ahead. A CBS News investigation. The remains of American servicemen go unrecovered. Chip Reed on the long wait of families.
I'm bitter. I'm upset. I'm upset.
And one of the most majestic animals of North America is vanishing.
They set the goal of 20 minutes between guarding the animal, harvesting the samples, and getting the moose back on its feet again.
Don Daler on the mystery of the missing moose. This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. Good evening. While Russia is hosting the Winter Olympics, violence is erupting tonight in the country next door, the former Soviet Republic of Ukraine. This is a live picture tonight of Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, a city of almost 3 million, where riot police are battling an estimated 20,000 protesters. The protesters are demanding closer economic ties to Western Europe, while the Ukrainian government has been moving closer to Moscow. Today, thousands of police stormed the protesters' camp in Kiev's Independence Square. Tonight, it is chaos. Casualty figures are unreliable, but the latest official number is 20 dead, 100 wounded. Katie Stollard of Sky Television News is in Kiev tonight. Katie, would you mind just having a look behind you and describing to me what you see going on in the square?
This is the scene in Independence Square as we speak. The fires are burning. What is burning there are the remains of what were the protesters' tents. As I say, many of them have been camped out here for several months in what has been an overwhelmingly peaceful protest camp. There have been clashes elsewhere in the city, but this movement here in Independence Square has been resolutely peaceful throughout. Tonight, their tents are burning, but they are gathering around the main stage. You can see it lit up in the centre of this square. They have been listening to political speeches, and what you hear there are the fireworks that the protesters are periodically firing out towards police lines. It is little defence.
Do you know what sort of weapons each side has been using?
In terms of what each side will admit to, the police will say that they are using stun grenades, that they are using tear gas, that they're using rubber bullets, and we've certainly seen water cannon. In terms of what the volunteer medics say are being used, they say that they treated 3 people today with gunshot wounds that they believe were caused by live ammunition. Certainly the authorities won't admit that. The acting Prime Minister has said that they will not use live fire on these protesters, but as I say, the protesters themselves and the doctors and medics who are treating them strongly dispute that.
Katie Stollard of Sky Television News, thank you very much for being with us. This is the most violent day in 3 months of protest. Charlie D'Agata now on what this is all about.
The trigger for today's violence was a refusal by some Ukrainian lawmakers to debate changes to the constitution that would have restricted the powers of President Viktor Yanukovych. Thousands of anti-government demonstrators flooded the square. It quickly descended into violence and mayhem. Riot police fired rubber bullets and stun grenades. Thousands of protesters fought back with everything they had, hurling chunks of pavement, fireworks, and Molotov cocktails. The trouble began in November when President Yanukovych rejected an economic deal with the European Union in favor of closer ties to Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin upped the ante by paying off billions of dollars of Ukraine's debts. It opened up deep divides within Ukraine itself. The country split in two between those who believe the country would be better off forging ties with Europe and the United States, and those whose loyalties lie with Russia. It escalated until demonstrators finally called for President Yanukovych to step down, culminating tonight in Ukraine's bloodiest day since it gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. The crackdown is continuing tonight, Scott. Police have shut down the subway and closed off the roads leading to the square, but protesters who are already there are still holding their ground. It's impossible to know what tomorrow will bring.
And Charlie, we're just hearing from the White House that the vice president called the Ukrainian president and urged him to pull back today. More on this on CBS This Morning tomorrow. Charlie, thanks very much. Today, winter storm warnings went up across the Cascades and the Rockies, but to the east, the relentless pounding began to let up. Here's Benita Nair.
Commuters are welcome back from their holiday weekend with a miserable drive. Parts of New Jersey got 2 more inches of snow. Freezing rain coated streets and hills in Pittsburgh. At one point, traffic on the interstate was backed up 13 miles. This latest storm pushed snowfall in Chicago and Philadelphia this winter to more than 42 inches above normal. All that snow piled up on rooftops is causing leaks and collapses in Illinois, Indiana, and New Jersey. We met roofer Mark Nejima in Jersey City clearing what he calls ice dams.
How much weight does snow like this put on a roof?
You could have as much as 40 to 60 pounds per square foot, maybe more.
Emergency roof inspections for students from 6 New Jersey schools today. A rescue team pulled a man out from this collapsed carport in Pennsylvania. By Friday, temperatures will reach well into the 40s from Illinois to New England. It's a welcome change for homeowners trying to clear snow from ice-clogged drains. But the thaw could cause flooding. Melting snow could produce a half a foot of water in the upper Midwest and 4 inches of water in the Northeast.
Heavy rains are forecast for tomorrow, which could only add to the problems here in New Jersey. Scott, already many of the storm drains are clogged with ice, and when that snow starts to melt, there could be some flooding.
30 days to spring, Benita. Thanks very much. Tonight, a United Airlines flight attendant is in the hospital. She is one of several people injured in severe turbulence last night. Flight 1676 was on its way from Denver to Billings, Montana, when the Boeing 737 dropped violently. One woman hit the ceiling so hard a panel broke. The plane landed safely in Billings. We got a fascinating report today on one of the president's top priorities. The Congressional Budget Office looked at what would happen if the minimum wage was raised to $10.10. The report said that nearly 1 million people would be lifted from poverty. On the other hand, another 500,000 would lose their jobs altogether. Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill for us tonight. Nancy.
Scott, Republicans argued today that this report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is evidence that raising the minimum wage will lead to fewer jobs, something they say the economy just can't afford right now. Democrats and the White House, on the other hand, chose to highlight some of the more favorable aspects of the report, like the fact that 16.5 million Americans would see their wages increase to $10.10 an hour, and higher paid workers could see a bump in their wages, as well as a ripple effect works its way through the economy. The Senate's Democratic leader, Harry Reid, has said he plans to bring a bill to the floor for a vote next month to raise the minimum wage. But even if that bill passes, Scott, it could run into a roadblock in the Republican-led House, where leaders haven't definitively ruled out voting to raise the minimum wage, but they're certainly not enthusiastic about it.
We'll keep following it, Nancy. Thanks very much. The U.S. and the Netherlands are tied for first in the Olympic medal count with 20 each. Russia's right behind with 19. A new study tonight suggests college entrance exams may be obsolete. Government mismanagement may be leaving missing Americans on the battlefield.